Alright everyone, welcome back. So we continue on our 2024 trade deadline previews with the Minnesota Wild. So the Wild are a team that when I last made a video on them, it's been a little bit, but regardless, the last time I made a video on them, they were actually in a really bad spot. And they looked like they weren't going to make the playoffs. It was going to be a year that they probably sell it to trade deadline and they just move on from there. But as of right now, they're in a pretty good spot. And they're getting better overall. They're only 2 points behind Nashville for that 5th place spot, and they're nearing St. Louis for that second wildcard spot. So as of today, they are currently 25, 23, and 6 for 56 points. They are 6th overall in the Central Division. So again, it has been a pretty solid last couple of months here for the Wild since they fired John Hynes, and they've made a legitimate push for the playoffs, and they could very well make it if they keep playing the way they are. They've won a few games in a row for sure, and they've gotten a lot of points that have gotten them back in the race. So we may see the Wild push their way back into a playoff spot. We shall find out. Now, regardless, they may sell, they may not. It just depends on what the next couple of weeks look like. They're, again, another team that we won't know until probably March 1st, March 2nd, what exactly they're going to do. So, with that being said, they have $40,000 in projected cap space. 40 grand, that seems like a lot, but it's not in NHL terms. I think we would all love to have 40 grand, but that doesn't seem, it's not a lot in NHL terms. So you can't even pay any player league minimum with $40,000. So yeah, obviously they don't have the salary to make a whole lot of moves, but obviously with LTR money, they could do something, but obviously that plays a factor. So, your UFAs and RFAs do go as follow. They have Brandon Duhaime, Jake Lucinski, Alex Goligoski, Zach Bogosian, Dakota Mermis, Marc-Andre Fleury, and Patrick Maroon. So, you got Duhaime, who is a guy that a lot of players, I think a lot of teams would want on their fourth line, a very solid fourth liner, but they might keep him. Lucchini, I don't know a whole lot about him. One of the younger forwards, I believe, on the roster. Goligoski, another defenseman. I don't see him getting moved. I don't think there's a market out there for him. I'd be shocked if anybody wanted Alex Goligoski, if I'm being honest with you. Then you got Bogosian. Bogosian might get moved, but he got moved earlier on in the season, so there's a chance that he probably doesn't. Mermis, again, another guy that I don't know a whole lot about, probably a depth defenseman. Marc-Andre Fleury might get moved. And people have thought about it, saying that, we could go to Edmonton. But then again, he has said that he doesn't want to move out of the metro area a lot, or move out of the, the central area where it's like Chicago, Minnesota is, etc. Because from what I've seen, he wants to keep his family in one place. And generally what they did more or less when he got traded from Chicago was like, I don't really want to go anywhere else in the East. I don't want to go anywhere in the Pacific West. I want to stay around where we are. And he got traded to Minnesota, which is not that far away from Chicago, so it works. That's why I don't think he'll get moved unless if those opinions have changed. But I haven't really heard much to say that those opinions haven't or have. So we'll find out there what happens there. But Patrick Maroon's another guy, too, that I've seen in the rumor mill. Maroon might be a guy that gets traded for sure. That's a solid chance, a guy that could be a fourth line, veteran presence, a fighter potentially even. So, he's a guy that could get moved as well. Your RFAs go as follows. You got Adam Beckman, Declan Chisholm, and Connor Dewar. So Beckman, another forward there who, he isn't that big of a name, is a guy that probably is a third liner. Wouldn't be bad for other teams. Chisholm, a solid depth defenseman. I talked about him on the prospect pool overviews. He's a guy who never really got a shot in Winnipeg. Has been in Minnesota now for a few weeks. I'm not too sure he gets moved. I don't think he would, but, we'll find out. And then Dewar as well, another guy there that has been in the Minnesota system for a while. I'd be shocked if he leaves, to be honest with you. But, yeah, those are your UFAs and RFAs. What are your needs if you're the Minnesota Wild? Well, originally, I had draft capital because I thought this team was going to be sellers when I first made this notes. I honestly don't really know. I feel like they're moving in the direction where they're probably going to stay pat. They don't have the salary cap to really do much. If you want anything, I guess you want depth? maybe some defense. I'm not really too sure what you would want there if you're the Minnesota Wild as of right now, because they're kind of in this surprising push towards the playoffs. I didn't think this was going to happen. I didn't think they'd make the playoffs. It really depends what this next week looks like. If they have another week where they look really good and they look like they can be a playoff team, then by all means, buy in at the deadline. But then again, you don't want false hope. And I think this team is a very young team. They're very solid. They're very entertaining to watch, especially down the stretch here. But they're just clearly not there yet. And especially, too, I know I bring it up in every single video. The Parise and Sutter money doesn't help you. You have about $14 million less than every single other team. So that just shows that, like, you're being asked to put together a playoff team, not even a cup team, a playoff team with $14 million less than anyone. So I think, you know, just take that into consideration. Your movable pieces, guys you can move at this year's deadline. I got Patrick Maroon, Marc-Andre Fleury, Alex Goligoski, and Zach Bogosian are guys that I have listed. So obviously guys that I talked about here and there. Apart from that, I haven't seen guys with term necessarily that could get moved. It's going to be probably UFAs or RFAs that get traded, if anyone at all. But really, as of right now, I would think the Wild would stay pat again. Just because they are making a push for the playoffs. Even if they do decide to sell, it's not a bad move either. But yeah, as of right now, they're looking like they probably will stand pat at this deadline. But obviously, we will find out. So anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed me, just leave a like. Hit that subscribe button down below. I greatly appreciate it. But anyways, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.